Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Let's Talk About show. I'm, of course, your host, Dylan Strickland, and today we're going to be talking about the first ever MCU Disney Plus show, WandaVision. Joining me is, of course, the big ball of fun himself, Kirby Talesky. How are you doing, Kirby?
I'm fine. You?
I'm feeling awesome. Secondly, we have the immensely tall and incredibly handsome Gabe Anderson. How are you doing, Gabe?
Yeah, it is my personality. I'm doing great.
And lastly, we have my beautiful girlfriend, Olivia Roberts. How are you doing, sweetie?
Hi. I'm good.
Hello, everybody. This is Dylan from the future. Yes, I know. I finally did it. I invented time travel. Unfortunately, my audio cuts out for the rest of the video, and I sound a little rough. I've tried my best to fix it, but I just don't have a solution. Leave a dislike if you hate me and you hate this video now. Appreciate it.
I guess I'll start. I was hesitant at the beginning of the show. I was a little worried about it because I was like, it's their first one, and MCU hasn't really had a miss. I mean, they've had like missteps, but they haven't had a complete miss. And this show definitely is a slow burn. Like it definitely starts out slow. By the end of the show, though, I thought it had some of the most heartfelt and like honest moments in like the MCU, like really human things. Is a great word to use. Things. What about you, Gabe? How did you feel about it overall?
I really liked it. I'm the same way as you. I think it started off as like almost an A24 film in the beginning. You know, it was very like with the black and white, and like the red helicopter pops up, and then by the end of it, it's just a typical Marvel movie. You know, you have, I won't go too far into it, but you have villains and heroes who are pretty much the same, but it's still awesome and you don't care.
Yeah. How about you, Kirby? How'd you feel?
I thought it was good. I was very excited going into this because this is our first Marvel product or production in a year and a half because of COVID. So I was really excited for it, and I am not disappointed by it at all. And I am excited to see where the next chapter takes off with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, almost 2 whole years in between. This is the longest wait we've ever had since it started, pretty much. Maybe the only time it's ever been this long might have been the length between the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2.
I think that's the only time.
Yeah, I think it was 2008 to 2010. Olive, I know that we've kind of been talking back and forth about it, and I know that you've pretty well loved it all the way through, right?
Yeah, I'm not like a big MCU person, so maybe I'm not qualified to be here, but I really, really enjoyed the show. Like from the get, I really liked just everything that they were doing with it. And at first, I guess, like the first episode, you definitely walk into it thinking you're here for like maybe a romantic sitcom question
Mhm.
mark, but then obviously as it continues it was just more and more engaging for me on a personal level because I'm somebody who really likes suspense, and I think the show handles suspense really nicely.
Yeah, it must have been kind of interesting for you because I know you haven't really been here for like all of Wanda's story. I mean, she hasn't really gotten many storylines, but like as far as like Age of Ultron, her introduction, I don't think you've seen that one, right?
I
So
seen it like a very long time ago, so I remember next to nothing.
got you,
And
and I know
I
you.
didn't know like who Vision was really. I just thought that they were cute together.
Okay, so I think your probably only experience with her was Infinity War, right?
Yeah, and Endgame.
In Endgame, that's right, that's right. So you basically started with the saddest or like the second saddest thing to happen to her, and then went directly into like
Into
the definitely
this.
saddest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted her to succeed. Like I really wanted the best for Wanda.
How did you feel about her? How did you feel about her journey? Do you think they're setting up for something more, like maybe like she becomes a villain, or do you think she like what's going on there? Kind of just tell me about your thoughts on the last episode or like the series as a whole.
Well, I mean, it's a little I guess we don't know yet, but with Agatha saying that, it's basically Wanda's destiny to destroy the world, that doesn't really leave you with like a great feeling. And maybe that prophecy was already foretold with Westview, but Westview's not the whole world, so there must be more to that.
Yeah, there's definitely something more to dwell in there. How about you, Kirby? How do you feel about her, what she's becoming?
I really liked the overall story of her at the beginning of WandaVision, and her at the end, going off and doing her own thing. Because I mean, at the beginning, you've got no idea why we're there, what she's doing, how certain people are back, and what's going on. And I'm very curious to see what her character is going to do, since she's kind of the next. I don't want to say next, but rival of Doctor Strange, because Agatha did say that the Scarlet Witch wasn't born. She was formed, and that the Scarlet Witch is even more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, and the Sorcerer Supreme is Doctor Strange right now. So I am very curious to see how that mashup is going to occur in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
So do you think they're setting her up to be the villain, or do you think her messing with the Darkhold, that whole book, and like in the post-credit scene is like kind of her unleashing something, or do you think it's going to be her and she's evolving into like the bad guy?
I could see it both ways. I could see how she could evolve into a bad guy, because I mean, in the comics, she is like a anti-hero, anti-villain type thing, to where she's sometimes she's the bad guy, sometimes she's the hero. But I could see if she is the bad guy in Doctor Strange, but I don't think she will be. I think she'll just be a helping hand, more or less, in Doctor Strange, because of her knowledge she will have by then.
So you think she's going to be like kind of like a sidekick or like a tag along? It's going to be like a buddy cop movie.
Maybe. I mean, we don't know. It might be, but I was more or less thinking that it would be like like Doctor Strange is doing his own thing, and then he finds out that Wanda is doing Wanda, and he has to go confront, deal with, or more just deal with her, and then it will continue with the movie.
Do you think that she has become, because there's been a lot of speculation about who is the most powerful? Do you think that she evolved and is like now the most powerful?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I mean, she's definitely one of the, if not the most powerful in the MCU right now, because I mean, in Endgame, she single-handedly could have beat Thanos without him, like Monica Rambeau said, without initiating the Blitz. But now she actually has the full power, or almost the full power of the Scarlet Witch, and she has access to it now, and she's bettering herself, so she's only getting better from there.
She has the knowledge as well as the power now, or
the
knowledge now.
Yeah, she has the knowledge now and could actually do real damage when the time comes, if she needs to. So I think she is the most, I'll say it, the most powerful being in MCU right now.
So Gabe, you're kind of feeling the same way about it?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like, the only other person I feel like who would be more powerful than her would be Captain Marvel, perhaps, because, they both she got the power from the Tesseract, and Wanda got it from the Mind Stone.
Do you think there's some connection there? Like maybe they're setting up some sort of like, since they're both from Infinity Stones, do you think there's going to be like some sort of weird like bond between them? Or do you think it's just going to, because Doctor Strange in Infinity War says that all the stones were created from the Big Bang. So they're all created at the same time, with the dawn of the universe, as Wong says. Do you think that there's like some underlying theme of connection between maybe Captain Marvel and Wanda, and that's kind of where Monica kind of feels the same way, or is like getting the same vibes that maybe Captain Marvel made her feel as a kid?
Right. I feel like it might be like a throwaway line. You know how I can tell?
because we're connected.
Every once in a while, if like they come on screen together, like, hey, you got your powers from Infinity Stone too. That's cool.
Mhm.
I highly doubt that they would end up like kind of mashing them together because they both have powers from the Infinity Stones, you know?
Mhm. Babe, how do you, or Olivia, I guess, Olivia, how do you feel about, like maybe do you feel that she has come into her own and that she's the most powerful in the MCU as of now?
I mean, she looks pretty powerful to me.
Yeah, she does have a badass costume. Yeah.
She does,
Um,
yeah.
so I'm gonna be the antagonist here and disagree with every single one of you.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Right.
See, the thing with it is I can't say that Wanda's the most powerful because we've seen Thor take the power of a star to his back and then just shrug it off and fight like all of Thanos' army. So
But
I'm
that
like,
was old Thor.
it is old Thor, but like, of course, we're not supposed to see this, but like the leaked set photos of Thor: Love and Thunder, he's like
He's
back in
jacked.
his man
He is
he's
jacked.
beautiful
God
again, and
damn
he's
it.
all shredded and cut with like the red vest and shit. So I'm definitely on the Thor's like up there, if not the, especially when he's like shredded. I mean, I know Bro Thor or Fat Thor or whatever people are calling him. That's what they want to call him, Bro Thor. He's like definitely like 5 years in the gutter, not nearly as powerful as he was in Infinity War. But until I see some shit where like Wanda takes like, I don't know, like her damage intake has to be a lot higher for me before I'm like, you're the most powerful like person out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like she's a lot more like, I guess to put it in D&D aspects, like a more utilitarian sort of thing. Like, she's not good in every single situation, but like she has her moments where she can outclass everybody, you know?
Gotcha. Interesting. Do you think that they're full on well, I guess I'll throw this out to everyone. Do you think they're full on doing her comic powers where like after she's now reading the Darkhold, which is what would they say was the book of the, not the book of the dead, the book of
Book
the
of the Damned.
book of the damned.
Yeah.
Do you think that now that she's read that, she is full on just can 100% manipulate reality, or do you think there's still going to be like her telekinesis stuff?
I think that she can just full on manipulate whatever's around her now.
Got you. Without having to like create a hex or something.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe if she like had like a rune set up or whatever, like she had a ritual set up, she could like manipulate the entire world, but offhand, like maybe what would be in Westview, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah. Speaking of the end of Westview and that whole scenario as a whole, we have now seen Vision die. What is it, 3 or 4 times? He's died so many times. But he's also now been revived as White Vision.
Right.
Kirby, what did you think of that whole thing? Were you appreciative of the fact that now he's back again, or are you like, oh my god, this again? He's kind of turning into Loki in that, in like, like where he just can't seem to stay dead.
So I liked it a lot, and I completely knew he was coming back in some way at the end of this, because in the comics he's dismantled, killed, taken apart, whatever, so many times, and there were a couple of runs to where he came back as the White or Gray Vision, and when he was in that form, it was still him as more of a husk, and he was more android than human. He was still there. He would respond, but he wouldn't feel or empathize or have any compassion or anything like that.
Kind of like Ultron, or do you think like less like Ultron, more like just straight robot?
Less like Ultron, more straight robot, but
Gotcha.
was still depending on which run, either a good guy or a bad guy, depending on which one. And I really liked it really liked how they did it in this one, where he came out and you could tell immediately it was robotic vision. He wasn't in there anymore. It was just programming, and that was it. And
how did you feel about I guess what we perceive to be real Vision, like the colorful Vision, I guess. How did you feel about his death scene? Did it tug on your heartstrings? Did you cry?
No, but I think I would have if I saw this in a theater. So I could feel myself wanting to, right? Like I could hear the music. I was like in the moment. I was in the scene. I was like prepared to do it. But it just did not hit for me.
It didn't stick the landing?
No, I'm saying I'm pretty sure I would have if I saw this in a theater.
Olivia,
Right, like watch all 8 episodes at home and then watch a season finale or series finale in theaters. Because I mean, the only times that I've cried during a movie were in a movie theater. There was only one other time, and it was for a random movie that I did not cry when I was in a theater. And it was side topic. It was Inside Out.
Oh my Lord!
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it was an amazing movie. Loved it.
Liv, how did you feel about like Vision going away? Because, like I said, I saw you like trying to keep it together. Yeah.
I'm an emotional person, and I'll freely admit that. So I was pretty emotional, and I did cry before and after. But I'm just curious, Kirby, like, this is a side note. This has nothing really to do with WandaVision, but like, what is it exactly about like the theater experience that would make you more near tears?
I guess it's more of the atmosphere and just nostalgia for me, more or less.
Because not when I'm around.
What?
When I'm around, when I'm crying,
less distractions.
Well, I mean, you're over here slobbering and sniffing, and everybody in the theater can hear you. But
I was so upset, man. I was so upset. There's never been a movie that's hit me like shook me like that. What they did with like Rhodey like grabbing his face and shit, where he's like, oh dude, come on, fuck you, man. That shit is so sad.
No, it was, and I had tears in my eyes, but they were not running because of you. But when I walk into a theater, I know I'm going in there to want to experience a good movie. I know sometimes I don't just because of the movie, but I go in there like prepared more or less to be ready to cry if I feel the need to.
Basically open to and available to it if it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes
Liv, what
a
did
lot
you
of
think
sense.
about like White Vision? Because that's
I really enjoyed the exchanges between the White Vision and the WandaVision.
The Theseus complex.
Yeah, which is the original.
That was amazing, and that was so cool. And I really, really enjoyed that exchange. I also liked the I am Vision realization at the end. That was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the scene between them. That was one of my favorite moments.
What did you think?
Okay, and I know this is the cynic in me, but I was really hoping after that Theseus conversation, it was like, I am Vision, and he just kills himself. Because like that's his directive is to destroy the Vision.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. I was like,
same.
It's like
I mean,
what's that one movie where he becomes aware that it's him, and then that's
Looper.
happened before. Looper, is it Looper?
Looper.
Not Looper. One. It's like a robot or something. It's like, and then it just starts taking itself apart. I can't remember. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember. What do you see as like the end goal for like the White Vision? Do you think they're gonna? Definitely, he's gonna be. Do you think he'll be in Doctor Strange, or do you think we'll see him sooner than that?
I think he might be in Doctor Strange. I feel like he's gonna be a seed character now. I feel like he's gonna be kind of like a Hawkeye sort of situation where like I think he's going to kind of go off and be on his own, but like you don't really bring him in unless if it's an Avengers movie. But what's Hawkeye's new name now? Ronin?
Yeah, Ronin.
Yeah.
Ronin.
So you're not going to see a Ronin movie. I don't think you're going to see a Vision movie. I think he's going to be a side character.
Gotcha.
from now on.
Gotcha. Kind of like
you know?
like a Black Widow, I guess, before she had her movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of, I guess, revival, origin, and people who are going to be in other movies, Monica Rambeau had her, like, I guess, origin story. I don't know if she lost her powers when the Hex left. They leave that kind of up in the air.
Well, she got her powers from going in and out of the Hex so much, right?
Yeah. At least that's how they explained it, is her molecular DNA has changed. It changes once. So that means that everybody, I guess, in the Hex who was in it the first time has their DNA changed.
Right. But she went through it like what, 3-4 times?
I think she just went twice. Or maybe
No,
she
she
went
went
in
3
and then
times.
3 times because she got kicked
in
out.
and out, in and out, and then in and then out again. So do you think that her powers are going to remain? And how did you feel about her origin, Gabe?
I liked it. Because it didn't feel like it was thrown away at all. She had her moments, helping deliver the boys and then ultimately saving them whenever soldier, whatever his name is, Walker or was something like that.
Taylor?
Hayward.
Hayward. Yeah, Hayward. Like she saved them from him. She kind of assisted in getting her out and all that. Like, I liked it, but it wasn't thrown in her face. She wasn't like the whole reason why you watched that. It wasn't just the Monica Rambeau story, which I liked. I was kind of afraid last episode that's what they were going to do this episode. That she's the one who's going to end up kind of defeating Agnes.
She was kind of the side. She was kind of the side story. We'll talk more about Evan Peters later. But Olivia, I know you were super into it, which was kind of interesting because I know you weren't the biggest fan. You didn't hate the movie, but you definitely weren't the biggest fan of Captain Marvel. And like,
you can say I hated it. You can say that
no,
but you can. I didn't like it.
Like it.
But
well, you didn't like Captain Marvel, but you completely turned around, and now you're a big proponent for Monica Rambeau, as far as I can tell.
Monica Rambeau is my Jesus Christ. I love her so much. I think she's amazing, and you know what? I'm really glad that they put in the post-credit scene with Monica, because otherwise, I don't think the last episode really would have given her enough screen time, considering that she did have her like metamorphosis and whatnot.
What do you think is going on with her? What do you think is going on with her? Because there seemed to be some animosity towards like Captain Marvel and that whole like she seemed to really not care for Captain Marvel. Every time someone brings up she'd skirt. What do you think is the reason behind that, or do you think it's well, clearly it'll be explained, but do you think there was animosity, or do you think she was just trying to stay focused?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay, well, how about you, Kirby? Did you notice that there's maybe it's just me?
Yeah, I did notice it, and I thought it was more or less of a more or less situation in her childhood to where she acknowledges that it happened to her, but she doesn't want to bring it up because she more or less wants to make a name for herself and not the girl who was a side or the minor sidekick for Captain Marvel. I think she's trying to get it to where she is known for the actions and achievements she has done, and not just because she happened to have an interaction with Captain Marvel one time.
That's interesting. See, I have a theory on this myself, and I'm wondering if somehow Monica's mom, what's her Maria, was her cancer was somehow caused by Captain Marvel, or if maybe Captain Marvel never even tried. Maybe the animosity comes from the fact that Captain Marvel will come as soon as Nick Fury needs her, but Captain Marvel didn't show up for her mom at all during the whole cancer treatment. Like Captain Marvel never even stopped by.
I think that could be a option. I think there's something there that we have not gotten yet, and I think we're just gonna have to wait to see what happens. Because I believe we'll find out more of the Captain Marvel Monica situation whenever we see the next chapter of her, and I think that's gonna either be Captain Marvel 2 or the Secret Invasions when Nick Fury comes back and Talos and all that.
Which I think comes out after Captain Marvel 2, right? They haven't really announced the release date for Secret Invasion.
I'm not sure. I can take a look.
I think it does. Do you guys think maybe we'll see her before Captain Marvel 2, or do you think they're going to save her and then just answer every question we have into Captain Marvel 2?
I mean, it is the MCU, so she can show up whenever. Like,
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess you can just pop in and out.
yeah, if Doctor Strange just shows up randomly in a Thor Ragnarok, why can't Photon just show up helping out Captain America and Bucky,
So you think they're going to go the Photon route with her name? Because isn't there another one that's like what's her other? She has another side name. Is it Spectre?
I don't think it's Spectre. Let me see.
It's Photon.
I don't know the character either way.
Pulsar. That's the only other one that she has like a alias to is Pulsar.
Really? Well, I know that she was at one point. She was Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, she was, but
I thought it was like Spectral or something. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I think you're thinking of Maria, her mother. I know she had a nickname. I can't remember what it was.
It was Photon because it was on that plaque when she was.
What
walking.
was it, Photon?
Her mom's nickname.
Yeah.
So her mom's nickname was Photon because it was when Wanda's walking through the hall, or in episode 4, where we see the Sword headquarters. When they show us the plaque of Maria Rambeau, it says Maria Photon in parentheses Rambeau. So do you think she'll just take on the name that her mom had?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that they're going to go with Photon because Pulsar, I feel like, is not going to do very well. How about Pulsar versus Photon,
Pulsar. Let's do this. Kirby, I believe you owe me an apology. You've been under the assumption, 1, that they were bringing over people from the Fox universe, and 2, that Evan Peters was playing Quicksilver.
Okay.
Both of them are now proven incorrect.
All right. Hold on.
Try and make a slap bet about this.
Hold on.
I would like an apology if you could just announce that you were wrong to the world.
Before I do anything close to that, I never said that they were going to bring over characters from the Fox universe. I just said that is the Quicksilver from the Fox universe.
I said that. Just throw that out there.
What?
I was wrong.
You never said that they were going to bring over characters from the Fox universe, but you are.
I said this would be the beginning of them tying in the mutants. Of them like giving name drops or situations or characters, and then they might not develop on it for like another 2 years.
Interesting.
That's what I said. I never said that they were bringing in characters in this.
There was no way for me. Well, 1, because Kevin Feige has said that he has a 5-year plan after Endgame, and that he has no intention of breaking that plan. And then 2, because when you do that, when you say that the Fox universe is connected, that comes with just a boatload of problems, like with continuity errors and which actors are you going to use. It's just I never once thought, even when I saw it for the first time, I was genuinely disappointed because I was like, oh my God, they're doing this. And then as the week went on, I was like, no, I really don't buy it. I think it's just going to be a red herring. Did you feel any type of way about that, Gabe? Do you feel that they did the audience wrong, or maybe they were just causing fake speculation, or are you no, I like the Easter egg?
I'm kind of on both sides of the fence, I guess. I really wanted this to be oh, this is actually Quicksilver. Whenever they first introduced him, my thought was that Wanda just somehow pulled him out of the multiverse because she's that powerful now. But then once, it kind of turned out that Agnes was controlling him,
Mhm.
You know, I was like, oh well, damn. So,
What's
uh,
interesting to me is that I didn't think they really went as far with it as to make like his last name is Boner.
yeah, is he a porn star?
I don't
Like,
know. I don't know what they were trying to hint at there. I was like wow, they just made a boner joke on Disney
yeah,
Plus.
I think that was more or less just like an Evan Peters humor joke type situation, you know?
Got you. What's interesting is to me, it all felt off. Like you could feel. No, live as a person who hasn't. You haven't seen any of the Fox X-Men movies, right? Did you still understand, like watching it, that there was something off with like that Quicksilver, or did it feel like maybe this could be the Quicksilver? Because I know you haven't seen Age of Ultron either, so you never really saw the Aaron Taylor Johnson version. But did
Yeah.
you definitely feel like he was suspicious, or that there certainly wasn't to be trusted, or did you feel like, oh my gosh, they're doing like that Quicksilver?
Yeah, I think in general with plot lines, when there's a character who is instantly just supposed to be accepted and there's no questions asked about the level of like comfort or notability, like when Quicksilver comes in,
Hmm.
that always kind of sets off a red flag in my brain because I'm like, how is it that easy? Especially since that was such a sore spot for Wanda.
Yeah.
With her brother. So yeah, but I was also just like Evan Peters. So I wanted it to be true. But yeah.
With the Evan Peters thing, because when you finally get the reveal of Agatha Darkness and all that, she says that she did not actually create the fake Pietro or whatever it is. That she just said that she used her eyes and ears. So I took that as she was able to see into the multiverse, and she saw that there was a Quicksilver in the Fox universe that looked like Evan Peters, and then she found another guy that looked like just like Evan Peters, and just made him have the powers. But I full on believe that the Marvel Studios would not waste an actor or a situation like that with Evan Peters coming out as Quicksilver like that. They wouldn't waste it.
I think 100% they definitely would.
They wouldn't. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They would not waste this situation.
I think you're assuming that it's wasted, but if you look at the box office numbers for every X-Men movie that came out after Logan, and we won't even count New Mutants, or Deadpool, because Deadpool's completely disconnected, it's like not very pretty. And by that I mean Dark Phoenix fell flat on its face. Like that was the last X-Men movie, and I don't think there's as much of a market there as you think there may be. Like after Logan, you could just feel it. Like people were like, okay, the X-Men are over. Am I wrong in assuming that?
No,
no.
but I think Marvel Studios would do so much better than Fox with the X-Men and the mutants. I think they could do so much better.
Okay, sticking with the mutant theme, it seemed to me to hint for the first time. I know Kirby probably got all jiggly about this. It seemed to me to hint for the first time in episode 8 that Wanda might have had powers before the stone.
Yes. So with that, I believe she did have powers before the stone. Because I don't think they would have had that scene and the scene right after it with Agatha and Wanda talking, saying that Wanda said that she was trapped. Her and her brother were trapped for 2 days, but they were perfectly safe and cozy underneath a bed that they could get up and walk away from. So I believe that for that instance, she used her powers to try to disarm it, but she accidentally made it go off and made themselves get trapped. I believe that is hinting towards that she was born with the powers. What?
Made it go off. What do you mean? They didn't.
That she when she was trying to disarm the missile, she accidentally made the missile go off.
Got you. You meant disarm. Like she turned. Well, that makes sense too. It flows because I mean clearly she reached out her hand.
Yeah, right? I mean she wouldn't do that unless she knew she could do something.
But see, the thing with it is if she knew that she had powers before the stone, does that mean that there are other people in the world who have powers that haven't been unlocked yet? Do you think they're full on going like this is the mutant gene? Like
There are other witches.
I believe so. Yes, and I've seen this theory out there around the internet saying that that Wanda, the reason just because of Wanda was that she was a witch, she was born with powers, she was able to get to them first without any help. But now since Infinity War and Endgame happened, there's a theory going out there that whenever when you had all the Infinity Stones and you snapped, that a whole bunch of energy and radiation got released at the same time, like nothing ever seen before.
how do you feel about that, Liv? Do you think that they're full on setting up mutants, or do you think it was just like maybe it's like an Agatha situation where she's just a witch at the beginning?
I think Agatha's saying to Wanda like that, you did have powers before.
Mm-hmm.
What were your powers before? I feel like that's definitely some kind of confirmation that we're dealing with
Got you.
pre-stone powers.
Okay, and then maybe the Infinity Stone just amplified it?
Yeah.
See, then my question becomes, if that was how they were going to do mutants, how are we going to go full on with the fan theory that like when, there was 3 snaps on the Earth, like that cosmic radiation that went out is what maybe activated everyone's mutant gene, or like the 1/5 of the population that was exposed to that, and like their mutant genes are activated. How do you feel about that, Gabe?
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if that's their explanation. My only thing is Wakanda is stacked now because like they're gonna have the most mutants, right?
Well, what's interesting is I don't know if Wakanda's stacked because like Rocket said, I think he said something about it in Endgame, and like shakes the whole world, or like the whole world feels the radiation.
Okay.
So I'm saying if it's in like maybe 1/5 of people or like 1/12 of people have this mutant gene, when it like goes across the whole world, did it activate that mutant gene in 1/12 of the people, or I mean, Wakanda's another situation because I mean they haven't had a king for 5 years, and
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there, and we'll talk more about that later on. But I'm just I don't. I mean, that is the perfect way to do the mutants, I guess, is just to say, well, the stones activated everybody.
Yeah. That's actually probably the best explanation that they're gonna do, that they can do, because if you look, between Wanda and then Captain Marvel, and then Photon now, the stones have influenced, 3 superheroes now essentially, and Vision, and as well Pietro for Quicksilver. I feel like that's probably the best explanation that they can do for mutants. That it's what gave all these different people their powers.
Got you. On the subject of adding more characters, in this show, we actually for the first time, we see Wanda's parents, who are, judging by their inability to stop the bomb that hit them, not Magneto and his wife. So do you think like they're going full on comic with it, because in the comics, Magneto is Wanda's dad, right? And Wanda and Quicksilver's dad.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to go full on comic with it, where they're like, just kidding, they're adopted like they were in the comics? Because in the comics they were like, lol, they're adopted. Like Pietro and Wanda are adopted, and they're actually Magneto's kids. Do you think they're going to like commit to that, or do you think Magneto will be completely disconnected?
For MCU's sake, I think right now it's just gonna be. I don't think that was Magneto. I think it was just to whoever parents. We're not really supposed to know or care that much about them. But I think later, once this multiverse thing expands and unfolds, and we get more stories and everything, we'll get more. Hopefully more mutants and X-Men and everything like that. And from there, we'll see if Magneto comes in, and if he does, if he'll have an experience with Wanda and Pietro or Peter or whoever. But for now, I think it's just we're not really supposed to care who her parents are.
What about you, Gabe? Do you think they'll go the adopted route, or do you think they're just gonna be like whatever? Maybe Magneto's not even connected to Wanda.
I think that a magical cow brought him to Magneto's doorstep, and now that they're adopted,
I want to talk about Hayward, because my thoughts on Hayward, at first I was like, okay, he's just a director. Like, Wanda's clearly, from the outside in, Wanda is the bad guy. I mean, we know Wanda as the audience, so we were like, oh, I'm so sympathetic towards her. But she has basically trapped an entire city. So when Hayward was like, take her out, let's shoot her. For the first time I heard it, I was, oh my God, like, is he really about to just murder her? But then as I thought about it, I was like, actually, that's probably the best course of action. Like, take out the source. But then I think they wanted us to not like him because in the end, they try and make him kill one of her kids. Like, well, that felt like a kind of character leap for me where, like, he gets out of the car and he's like, nah, fuck these kids. And he just, like, pulls straps out, pulls a gun on him and tries to kill him. How did you feel about, like, Hayward, Olivia? Were you ever on his side? Did you ever think, like, maybe he's a decent person? Or were you like,
No, never. I was never on his side. I mean, like, I think you're supposed to see the conflict between him and Monica, right? Where Monica's like, we need to work with Wanda. She's emotional. She's lost a lot. Like, we need to work with her. And he's like, let's just fucking kill her. So no, I was not rocking with him. I was not on his side. And like, the actor's so good at being such an asshole. So I don't think you're really meant to like him, but you like asshole characters, Dylan. So I totally get why maybe you
it's
were
fun to
on
root
his
for the
side.
bad guy. Like, I mean, come on, everybody loves a good Thanos or a Darth Vader. I don't know. It feel like the John Wick dog situation where they're like, okay, we need a reason for this to be justified, for like him to, like, for us to hate him. And so they were like, okay, we're gonna make him try and shoot her children. I just felt like the entire time before he tried and shot the kids, I was like, what he's doing makes sense. Did you feel the same sort of way, Gabe, or am I just completely off base?
I felt the same way. I thought, like, what this guy's doing, it's like, it's kind of justified,
I mean, she had the whole city on lockdown. Like,
she had everybody on lockdown, controlling everybody's minds and all that. You don't know what's going on there. For all you know, she could have turned it into another Jonestown. But for what he was doing, it was like, I kind of agreed with all of it. He was being a dick about it, but
yeah, he definitely didn't need to throw in that Monica line where he was like, "I'm glad your mom's not here," or whatever he said to her.
Oh my Lord, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm glad you weren't here when she died. I don't think you could have handled her death.
Like, who says that? Who says that? Just a pure villain.
That was a full dickhead move. I think that's kind of what led everybody to be like, "Oh my God, like Hayward's Mephisto. Like Hayward is the evil bad guy."
Wait, people actually thought he was Mephisto?
Yeah, people thought.
Oh my God.
People were like, all the Mephisto theories were, one, Evan Peters is Mephisto, Hayward is Mephisto, or the rabbit, like Agatha's rabbit is Mephisto.
Oh,
you are literally the person that said the rabbit is Mephisto, so don't act like.
I thought the rabbit was her son, but come on, the rabbit eats he eats a bug. Like, rabbits don't eat bugs, so there's clearly something going on there.
They can eat
rabbits
bugs.
are vegetarians, right?
They can eat bugs. I'm sure that they do.
Do you think? What was your what was y'all's favorite episode? I guess we'll start with Kirby. Was there a particular moment or episode that you thought was like, wow, this is the best part of the show?
Oh, that's a tough choice. I would probably say the episode, the Halloween episode, the 80s, 90s Halloween episode or whatever it is.
The kind of Malcolm in the Middle-esque type sitcom.
Yeah. So, and the reason why is because you finally see Vision not completely out of Wanda's grip. You know, it's where he doesn't have to abide by anything. She's not around. he can do whatever he wants. And then we see him go through the barrier, and we see him wanting to help the people inside. He's not wanting to do anything else. That was his main goal, and that just boosted the vision on my scale a whole lot with that. And I just love the subtle throwbacks with everybody with their custom comic accurate costumes with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and Vision and Speed and Wiccan. It was amazing. I loved it.
Me and Olivia's future Halloween costume, by the way. Liv, what was your favorite moment or episode?
It's kind of tied. I have a couple, but I'll try to make it brief. Okay. One of my favorite moments was breaking the fourth wall, that episode. Because the Agatha reveal was just so phenomenal.
Yes,
and Monica as well was amazing in that episode. And I cried several times during that too. Also previously on had the best character dialogue, in my opinion, the best scene between Vision and Wanda. It was so good. So those are my favorites.
What about you, Gabe?
Okay, this is where I know I'm woefully unprepared because I don't know the episode titles, but the Malcolm in the Middle episode.
No, I think that's episode 6, right? Kirby 6.
I
think it's 6 that was my favorite because it's kind of the turning point, you know.
Yeah, true.
It's like it's after that one. That's whenever it's kind of stops being a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
It's where all these different things are happening. Like Vision's kind of really starting to put pieces together, but he like understands what's going on now. He has enlisted Darcy to help him out, and like Quicksilver and Wanda are having their sibling disputes, and like he's like dropping hints, stuff like that to her.
Interesting. I see my favorites. I guess because I'm like a big, I don't know, sob. I like things that make me, I guess, sad, like depressed. So I was really, really into episode 8. I can't remember the name of it, but the one where we basically find out everything, how it happened.
Previously on.
Was that previously on too? No, it wasn't.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
that was episode 8. Previously on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just couldn't get enough of that episode. I love seeing the whole family thing where it's like really, really sweet, and then all of a sudden it's like contrasted with like this huge ass bomb that just kills her family like in cold blood. And it's always one thing to like hear them talk about it in Age of Ultron, but I feel like now that we've seen that, like going back and watching Age of Ultron will have like a new sort of weight when they're explaining what happened to them.
Was I the only one who jumped whenever the bomb exploded in their house, by the way?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
too.
because like it was zooming into the TV in her face, and the music was swelling, and then all of a sudden darkness.
Olivia, we were watching it together, and I turned to her, and she just she was already like kind of emotional because like it's a really impactful moment. She's watching the show, and then the bomb hits, and she just like loses it. She's just like absolutely sobbing, and I can't get enough of like the weird like an edgy Tumblr post Vision line where he's like, "What is grief if not love persevering?"
It's not even an edgy Tumblr.
Hard.
So
that line is so good.
I saw someone on Twitter say that is like the line that either a 12-year-old would write and think it was deep, or like someone like a really great poet would write and be like, "This is beautiful." And I was like, I kind of agree. Like 12-year-old me would have written that down and been like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing." But like in the moment, like he says it, and it's so weird that like it's clearly a robot, and it's just such a human moment because like he's expressing that he's always been alone and that like he's never had anyone, and then he's the person that helped Wanda like through the loss of her brother. And like I'm a sucker for when the music, like the score just changes to like a piano thing. It's like ding ding ding, like it's like up with like the ding 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 ding, and it's like it was so good to me. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It's so weird because I've never had a moment in my life where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm just so sad. And then a person who's never had any social contact, like never had anyone that they've loved, walks up and is like, but what is grief if not love persevering? Like,
Because most of those people are incels, but
I guess, I guess. Uh, what do you guys think is next for these characters? Like overall, where do you think they're going with their story? Do you think they're setting up Wanda to be the villain? Do you think that Vision is gonna that he's completely back to normal? Like what do you think the path forward for the MCU and these characters is?
So this is just basing off of 5-10 seconds of footage here. I think Jimmy Woo is going to be the director of Sword sometime soon.
Gotcha.
Because of the scene when
Please,
he's
God,
telling
please.
everybody where to go, and Monica comes up, oh man, you look good in charge and everything. I think that's hinting towards him eventually getting a higher up position. So I do not believe this is the last time we are going to see Jimmy Woo. I completely believe he's going to come back.
How about you, Gabe? What you got?
I think that Wanda's looking for her kids now. I think because in the post credit scene, what it said is
Mom, help.
yeah, mom, help me.
Yeah.
And then like it cut to like she rushed and it cut to black. You know? So I think that she's now looking for them wherever they are.
Do you think she maybe pulls them out of the multiverse and that's how the tear happens?
I honestly think that's how that's going to happen. That like maybe in another universe, Wanda's dead or Scarlet Witch is dead, and that she ends up, kind of adopting them in a weird way. That's my off the top of the head theory.
Do you think maybe they're doing like you think they're going to go for the Young Avengers? Like they're pulling off. I mean, we'll have a Miss Marvel, and then we'll have.
If they're that young, I'd like that. If they're teenagers, or if they're all teenagers, I think that'll be totally terrible. It's going to be full of, I want to screw this person because I love them so much. Like, blah, blah, blah. Why'd you lie to me? Why is everybody lying to me? Like every single superhero movie out there. But if it's like some of them are kids and some of them are like teenagers, it'll be perfect.
I'm asking because I've got like Miss Marvel lined up. That's coming, and then they have another kid out there. I can't remember which. Oh, they've got Ironheart coming and Spider-Man
and Hawkeye
and Kate Bishop and Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop.
Yeah. Well, how about you, babe? Is there any predicted future that you think they've got like lined up, or do you have any theories or like for the characters that we know from the show? Maybe Kat Dennings.
I don't know. I think I agree with Gabe. I think Wanda's gonna go look for her kids. I feel like maybe there's a multiverse situation happening there. I don't know if that's going to cause conflict with somebody. Hence, like, a la Doctor Strange stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm curious then, Liv. What are you most excited about for this coming year? I know you don't know quite everything that's coming out in the Marvel kind of realm.
Definitely the next Spider-Man.
Really? So you got the long way because that doesn't come out till December. What about you, Gabe? What are you anticipating most, you think?
I'm more excited for the shows, honestly. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm kind of marveled out, like going to the movies just every month to see a new Marvel movie. I like it. It's an addiction. It's harder to quit than cigarettes. I think that it's I'll still go. Disney will still get my money. I won't stop seeing them. So I'm not really looking forward to the movies. I'm looking forward really to the TV shows. I think they're a very breath of fresh air. I loved WandaVision. I think it's a great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which show in particular you think you're most like lined up for?
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It seems like a kind of spy like action series, and those things all like I'm a sucker for those.
Kirby, what are you most excited for?
My most anticipated is Eternals.
Really? I thought you would say Spider-Man because I know you're a huge Tobey advocate.
Because Tobey is one of the, if not the best Spider-Man.
Gabe, did you have something to say so I can ignore what Kirby just said?
I was gonna say I'm actually really looking forward to the Eternals because their comics have always sucked, and I'm
Have you
really
read it?
curious to see how they're gonna do it.
I'm way more. I cannot wait. Because I'm a huge movie theater advocate. I've been waiting to see Black Widow so long that it's like kind of sad how ready I am for it. Like as soon as the tickets go up, I'm going to be the first in line. Like, I literally cannot wait to see this film. I think the trailers have been so awesome. It looks like a James Bond movie, and the like soundtrack with the like I literally cannot wait to see it.
I
And
completely
Taskmaster,
forgot that's coming
like,
out.
It just looks like something that I like am like salivating to watch. So like while I love the last Spider-Man and Tom is the best Spider-Man, clearly objectively, I cannot wait to see like Black Widow. So that's pretty much at the top of my list.
I think Andrew Garfield's the best Spider-Man, but
Get out of here.
I'll leave it at that.
Get out of here.
Like, I love Andrew Garfield and I love those Spider-Mans, but he's definitely not the best. Tom Holland
you.
is.
Thank you.
See, he's the only Spider-Man to ask for more money, and I respect that.
God, no.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think we'll end it there, guys. Kirby, where can people reach out and find you on social media?
I mean, I don't have a YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you type in Kirby Talesky, that's the only profile you'll see, and just click on it, and you'll find me.
What about you, Gabe? Where can people reach you at?
I don't really use social media, but you can find me at the phone number 25428. No, I'm joking.
I was about. Oh God.
About to list
For
off your
anyone
phone
watching,
number.
that's like 5 digits of my phone number.
Yeah.
What about you, babe?
You can find me on Instagram at Olivia Roberts with a Z, or on TikTok at Olive Lee. My TikTok's cringe though, so don't expect good content if you go there.
All right, everybody, that will conclude our show. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a like on the video if you really, really enjoyed it, or if you hated it. I mean, I'll take both. And add me on Instagram at Dylan Reviews if you want to or care. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all will be back shortly for our next episode. Have a great day, and we'll see you then.
Bye.